All right, everyone, welcome to Lesson 5. We are going to learn about using a circular protractor to understand that a 1-degree angle is 1/360th of a turn. We will also talk about benchmark angles using a protractor. So if we were in school, this would be the finally be the day where you get to use a protractor, and I would pass them out. We would all use them, and we would make angles using a protractor. Unfortunately, we are not at school, and that is kind of disappointing because unless you have a protractor at home, you won't be able to do this on a paper with a paper and a pencil. So I have some other things we're going to do to practice angles, but first let's go through the lesson. All right, so we're going to start with what a protractor is. A protractor measures angles, and this is a circular protractor. If I was at school, it'd be like a ruler. It'd be big and circular and clear with all the angles marked on it. So first of all, I'm going to line up my ruler here, and I'm going to figure out about where my right angle would be. Where would my right angle be? Well, it's going to be here, and my first right angle is going to be here. All right, and a right angle or a corner, like we talked about before, is like the corner of a paper, is 90 degrees. So a right angle, I'm going to write that down, is 90 degrees. That's important for you to know. And I can tell it's 90 degrees because if I started here on my protractor, I'm at what number? 0. And a perfect right angle goes from 0 all the way up to 90. So it is 90 degrees. So that's the first thing we need to understand. Now, what if I was measuring half of that? What would be half of a right angle? Well, I'm just going to cut it in half. If I know with my math, I could divide 90 divided by 2, or I could take my protractor and measure it out. It would be about 45 degrees. So half of a right angle is 45 degrees. Then, if I keep adding 45, then after 45 degrees, I would get 2. If you said 90, that is correct. So my next angle would be a 90-degree angle. Now let's add another 45-degree angle. We're going to add 45 to 90, and so it's going to be at about the same place that it was over here where I found my 45-degree angle, but now it's on the other side. So I'm going to make sure my ruler is lined up here, and it is. So I'm going to mark there. It is 45. That is another 45 degrees. But this, I had 0, then 45, then 90. Now this one is going to be what? How many degrees? It's between 130 and 140. So it would be, if you said 135, that is correct. That's our next angle. All right, if we add another 45 degrees to that, what are we at now? Yep, we're at 180 degrees. And I'm going to continue on with that. Continue adding 45 degrees and writing down what I get to. This one is 225 degrees. This one would be what? 270 degrees. I'm just going to circle that. And then this one, I'm going to line it up on the other side. This one would be 315 degrees. All right, so there are my benchmark angles for if I'm using 45 degrees and I keep adding 45, that's what I'm going to get to. Eventually, I would get back to 0 or 360 degrees. So once I've gone all the way around in a full circle is 360 degrees. What's a half circle then? A half circle would be 180 degrees. What would be 3/4 of a turn? Where there's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. 3/4 would be 270 degrees. What if I did a 45-degree turn 3 times? 1, 2, 3. That would be 135 degrees. All right, let's move on to our next benchmark angles. All right, our next set of angles, we're going to do 30 degrees. So before we did increments of 45 degrees, now we're going to do increments of 30 degrees. So I'm going to go on my protractor, whoops, and I'm going to move my ruler so I can measure it perfectly. And I'm going to go 30 degrees. So if I'm counting by 30 degrees, I'm going to go from 0 to 30 degrees. Then I'm going to add another 30. So what would be next? 30 plus 30 is, yep, 60. That is correct. Now I'm at 60 degrees. All right, add another 30. When what do I finally get to? 90 degrees. And I'm going to continue going. What do you think is going to be the next one? 120, yes. And then if I add another 30, 150, then 180, then 210, 240 degrees, 270 degrees, 300 degrees, 330 degrees, and finally 360 degrees would be my final one, if I'm counting by 30s. All right, now this will be important in a second. Let's look at our questions. Let's see. All right, how many 30-degree angles does it take to make a full turn? Well, let's go look. How many times did we have a 30-degree angle to go all the way around? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. 12 turns to make a 30-degree to go all the way around. Question number 1, how many right angles make a full turn? So thinking about our protractor, how many right angles make a full turn? Well, this is going to be a right angle. That would be a right angle. So how many times would I have a right angle to make a full turn? 1, 2, 3, and yep, if you said 4, that is correct. Yep. All right, let's look at the next question. What is the measurement of a right angle? Oh, we talked about that before. That was on this page, right here at the top. All right, what fraction of a full turn is 1 degree? Well, let's look at our protractor. How many degrees are there total on this? A full turn goes from 0 to 360. So if I had 1 degree, that's going to be 1 out of 360 because I know there's 360 total. All right, next question. Name at least 4 benchmark angle measurements. So benchmark angle measurements are going to be these ones. So 0, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 135, 180, and so on. Or these are the other benchmark angles, counting by 30 degrees. So it just said list 2 of those, doesn't matter which ones. All right, I think that is the last question we need to answer. So at the end of this video, you're gonna go to Google Forms and answer a question. Your question is, how many 45-degree angles does it take to make a full turn? This question right here. How many 45-degree angles does it take to make a full turn? So think about the protractor. How many times would you have 45? There's 45. Oops. There's our first 45. How many times would you have a 45-degree angle to get from 0, if you're adding 45 over and over, to get from 0 back here to 360? All right, that's your question you're going to answer in the Google Forms. And I hope you have a great day, and I'm going to also post a link to a game I would like you to try to play. It is, let's see, I can, all right, so I decided I would just show you the game. So you're going to go to mathplayground.com and click on 4th grade games, and then find this one called Alien Angles. And this is going to be some good practice for you with angles today. So I'm going to get started. So first of all, I need to find an angle with that is 72 degrees. So I kind of have to guesstimate. Let's see, I know that's 90. So I'm going to go, if I know that's about 45, then 72 might be about there. And I have to just guess and see. Let's see, I guessed about a 65 degree angle. I was off by 7 degrees. All right, try again. Now 170. Well, this would be 90. This would be 180. So I need to go a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller than 180. How about that right there? I got to 162, off by 8 degrees. Okay. Let's try again. 101 degrees. Let's see, that'd be 180. This would be 90. So I'm going to go a little bit bigger than 90 to 101. Let's see if I'm there. No, 96 degrees. I was close enough though, 5 degrees. By 5 degrees. All right, 162. So there's 180. Let's see, that would be 90. 135 would be there. So 162, I'm going to guess about right there. Nope, I was off. Okay, so try that game. See if you can get any correct. I'm obviously not doing that great. So you try it, do the Google form, do the exit ticket, and make sure you're doing your lesson on Zern as well. Okay, have a great day. See ya.